Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
To have sound. Yes,
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 Hi
To
everyone.
have sound. Yes,
Hi everyone.
To have sound. Yes,
Hi
To
everyone.
have sound. Yes,
Hi
To
everyone.
have sound. Yes,
Hi
To
everyone.
have sound.
Hi everyone.
Synchronous.
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 Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi
That's a bit better. 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 That's Oh, I see. Well, yeah. Basically, what happened was that I had the Twitch tab open. That's strange. I didn't really change anything about my volume settings. But let me know it's better now. Okay, great. It's a bit weird how the settings changed, but so now that that's all solved, let's start with explaining a bit about the clock. So this is a clock. This is a bit of an older clock. I think it's about 100 years old. And last time we were talking about a bit about modern striking mechanisms. But today, this is a bit of an older striking mechanism that doesn't have any self-correction. They do work pretty reliable if there's no user around, but if the user messes it up, then there's no quick way of correcting it, and basically how it works is by one of these. Yeah, it's a fries basket. I use them in my ultrasonic cleaner because it's easy to to keep things separate if you're cleaning a lot of things. So I'm going to zoom in a bit and then so you can see it a bit better. Focus. So you can see here that this wheel has a separate wheel on top. Not of them all like this. Some of them have this this part really as a separate wheel, and you can see there are little cutouts in the wheel. They gradually get longer and then they become shorter. Yeah, it's quite an oxidation. I asked the client if he wanted the clock polished, like with a barrel with ceramic pieces, but he didn't want it. He didn't care how the clock looked, so that's what he gets. The clock is clean, but it's just oxidation. So the way a clock like this works is there's a little lever that falls into those detents, and basically when the clock's about to strike, another lever lifts this one up. The clock makes this one turn a bit, and it can't fall until it gets further, and then it falls back in, and then it stops again. So I'm going to mount the clock, mount all the parts inside, because for this clock, which is pretty typical for the time, all the levers are on the inside. So that's why I'm going to put it all together and explain it while I'm putting it together. So those are the two barrels. Another thing about these clocks is because there is no self-correction, it is really important that the spring of the striking mechanism doesn't run out before the spring of the normal movement, so that's why you can see the two springs. Don't really like. Gotta zoom in again, I think. Once one spring is a bit longer than the other one, you can kind of see that in here there's a bit more turns. So this one goes here, the striking mechanism. Getting them back in is kind of a puzzle. So this is the 8-day wheel, only found in 8-day clocks. It's probably not like this. It's always a bit of a puzzle putting one back together. So basically you go from the big gears to the small gears, and then you kind of know like the striking mechanism always ends in the wind vane. And then so now, how do those levers go in? There has to be one here. And the other one goes underneath. So this one pokes through the front of the movement. I'm going to show it, and then this is the part that's going to lift the other lever, and this is the part that's going to block the movement. So it's going to lift, it's going to do the pre-strike again, and it's going to be, there's a little pin that's going to be blocked by this. Seems like I can't get it in with the wheels there. So putting this lever back in. But not upside down. This one. And the wind vane. Now putting this one back in. Which is going to be no. Yeah, it's not really easy to get them in. Hi. Seems like I can remove this one. It's going to make it easier. Ta-da! Well, you kind of need to have a lot of patience to put this together. But on the other hand, like, I'm only live for 27 minutes now, and like, I don't know how long I'm working on this one, but in the end it doesn't really take that long. So now, the escapement. Well, a watch, sometimes. So, let's wiggle the escapement in. So, now comes the tricky part, because oh, I have often want to eat some pieces, but yeah, isn't always a good option. So now I have to get the plate on, I'm not sure if I can show it all too well on camera, but I'm going to try because it involves picking up everything and making sure all the axles are in the right holes. So yeah. I'm going to do it the other way around. It's going to be a bit easier for the escapement. Well, once I get affiliate on Twitch, I can get a few emojis. So I have these three axles already in, so I'm going to slightly screw the plate down. And I'm going to work my way to the front, so wiggle wiggle. Maybe zooming in a bit so you can see it a bit better. Yes, that one is in place. Well, I guess I was before you. Okay, now so I'm going to zoom in, like you can zoom in a bit more. Oop. Be right back. And I'm back. Sorry, got a phone call. Yeah, where were we? Putting this thing together. So now it's always finding the point where it's jamming, because that's where one of the axles is not on the right place. So it's actually a bit like you see lock pickers do. That is jamming. That means it needs some attention. So now this axle is really stuck, so I'm going to bend until it clicks into place. So the ones you can move really upside down, they are either not perfectly into place, like this one, you can see I can jump it around, but the ones that are like a bit tight, those are the ones. Like this one too is a bit tight. Oops. And now it flipped out. So now this one is in place. This one I can Well, that's the annoying part of it. I do have a wrench set. The reason watchmakers do it this way is because all those nuts are non-standard sizing. So I'm going to lower these ones a bit because everything is in place here. Yep, non-standard. No, it's neither of those, mostly. To the point that I don't even bother to try if a wrench fits. This one's binding. Going to release it a bit because like with newer clocks, they are standard sizing, and I have some socket wrenches for newer clocks, but on older clocks, nope. Oh, come on. Get in there. The problem is some of those holes have like a little ledge on them, and I think the axle is stuck on one of those ledges, so I can't really seem to get it in. Oh, it's moved, but it's moved in the wrong direction. I think I'm going to release this one. Well, this is basically like a small adjustable spanner wrench. The adjustment is just a bit manual. Come on. We're almost there. Yes, it's in. Now the lever's on the wrong place. Well, there are not that many pieces. So this one's in place. I'm going to screw down this one. So this one's okay, this one's okay. Now let's see. This one is binding a bit. Okay, that one snapped into place. So everything on this side is in place. Yes. This one was in place. Come on, get back in. Ah, come on. How can it get so easily out? And getting it back in is so hard. Okay. Okay, so everything here seems to be in place. So the quick check. Getting the escapement back in. That's back into place. This one's into place. Now this one. Okay, I think we're there. Now, okay, this one's okay. So now it's time to mount those small detents. The ratchet mechanisms. So I think this one should fit. Yes, this one fits. So now, how am I going to make this stay bottom? It's a bit too high. That's better. So now, let's see. Does it work? Yeah, but that doesn't really matter because the central wheel is, and that's not the central wheel, it's the intermediate wheel, but it doesn't really matter because that's only for the general mechanism, not for the striking mechanism. But now the striking mechanism does work, and so I'm going to show you the partition disk, as we call it, in action. So so not really. So you can see, going to and now it's going to fall. So every time, so that's the striking of one of the hours. So the next time I lift it, it should fall back into the same detent. Yes, so that's one strike, that's the half hour, and this is the next hour. Oh, gears, wheels, yeah. Now it falls back, and then next time it gets lifted out, it's half an hour again. So I'm going to show the other side now. So going to remove that pin so I can show it a bit better. So it wants to come off. Yes. Well, there we go again. Be right back. The battery's empty again. Yes, that is a goose in the background. Oh, come on. Stay up. So now when I turn this without blocking the view, so when this gets lifted up, you can see at first it's only this lever moving, but eventually this lever will take the top one with it. I'm going to show it from the side soon, but so this one gets lifted, and then when it drops, it should. Why doesn't it? This. So then it strikes. So now I'm going to show it from the side. Oh, come on. So you can see the lever here. This one lifts up the other one, and so it actually stops 2 times, because there's the one in the wheel with all the detents, the partitions, but there's actually another one where it can fall in that I'm going to show you soon, that actually stops the movement. So it's actually this one here that actually falls into a small detent on one of the gears that actually stops the movement. But this one can only fall when there's a notch here on the partition disc. And so it basically it gets lifted up. This one will block the gear train until it can fall down again, but by the time it can fall down again on the partition disc, we will have moved out of the detent, except if it's the half hour. So, but we're going to be moved as much that it can go freely until it can falls back into one of the detents again. That's basically how this spiking mechanism works. So yeah. If there are any questions, please let me know. No questions? Well, if there are no questions, then I'm going to show something else quickly. I have like 40 minutes left to stream. Yay! I did a great job at explaining them. So the next subject for today is one of the electronic clocks. So this is an elbow electronic clock. Let's zoom out a bit. Oh, that's just a normal. It's not a gram escapement. It's how is it called again in English? It's a recoil escapement. Yes. So it's the simple, like the bent plate recoil escapement. So let's talk a bit about electromechanical clocks. So electromechanical clocks, they are from the 60s, early 70s. The Japanese invented the quartz watch in 96. So soon after that, mechanical clocks started to become quartz clocks too, but this all predates. Yeah, it's the Quapian shape escapement indeed. This is a bit, yeah, it's more accurate than most mechanical clocks, definitely at the time, and it is a very interesting mix in between a mechanical and an electrical clock. So the circuit is very simple. It's basically a circuit board with not much on it. So there is one transistor, one capacitor, and like two capacitors and one resistor. So basically how they work is you can see, I'm going to focus a bit better. I'll zoom in a bit because Let's see if I can focus. So you can see here there are two magnets, and you have you have two coils, one on top, one on the bottom, but those coils are two coils in one. There's one drive coil and one pickup coil. So basically what they do is if the magnet passes by, it gets picked up and it drives a transistor, and that transistor will drive the main coil, and it will give a magnetic pulse, and it will move the magnet away. And it's by controlling the timing of that you get a basic basic timing. And then on the top you can see that there's a hairspring, like on a mechanical watch or some clocks, and still a mechanical adjustment for the usable length of the mainspring, like you would see in watches, pocket watches and clocks basically. And then there's a bit of there are a few gears, and yeah, this kind of escapement is also very interesting. I can't really show it on stream because it's so tiny, but I do have some high-speed footage from that, and I'm going to put I'm going to put a link in the description, like probably not right after the stream replay, probably tomorrow or in the weekend, but I'm going to put a link there. Probably going to be a private link, I don't know yet. So yeah, that's a bit about this typical kind of clock. I'm going to put a battery in it and show it working. So you can see, like, it was wiggling a bit. There isn't. It's driven by the escapement. So basically there is a small, like a ratchet mechanism, and every time the escapement passes by, there's a little pin that pushes it further. That's basically the ticking sound you hear. Yeah, so that's why, like I said, like I would love to show it, but I can't because it's like so small and it happens like in an instant. That's why I said, like, I have some slow motion footage from that, and I'm going to link it in the description of the replay. Because you should definitely watch that. So yeah, for the rest, any questions about that? Like here you can see the very old style transistor. Like, it are pretty fun clocks. I don't know. I would guess so. Like, the marking on it is AC 121 and then X. So AC 121X. I guess we can Google that. Yep, it's a germanium one. Like, I tried to reverse engineer the schematic one time, but with the coils it's very tricky, and I don't really want to desolder it because I probably would delaminate the PCB. But yeah, I'm now going to show another way of an electromechanical clock. So this is a clock. Sorry for the reflection, can't really do much about that. But this is a electromechanical world time clock from my personal collection. This is also a 24-hour clock. So basically it works by moving this disc along with the clock hands to show the world time everywhere. I really love this clock. So that's not why we are here. I'm going to show the movement because this has also an electromechanical movement inside. Yes, it is. The clock hands are 12 hours, but the outside is 24 hours. So, well, yeah, like I said, like so this is 12 hours, but this is 24 hours. So basically, I'm going to remove the plastic, and then we can see it a bit better. So basically, I'm going to wait. First, I'm going to zoom in a bit. But basically, the way this clock works is that there's just there's a movement with a small mainspring, and then there's an electric motor, and on the spring, like you can, does it show up on camera? Not that. Wait, going to zoom in on it a bit more. So basically you can see this contact here, and once the mainspring, because like I think it's only 1 or 2 turns inside, once that mainspring gets too weak, this contact will close and it will turn the electric motor on, and you can see here, like if I turn it, yes, so here you can see there's a worm gear, and that will wind the mainspring up. So basically this is a mechanical clock, a very small mechanical clock that's driven by just a battery through the to the small electric motor. So it's a very convenient way of doing it, because it has the benefits of both worlds actually. So you have the convenience of an electric. Yeah, it's an electrical wound mechanical clock, yes. But it's a clever way of doing it. So yeah, so now I'm going to put the battery back on and show you how it winds up. Well, yeah, it's a pretty good idea. Like you can see, it's like I removed the battery for a few minutes now, and it's still going. See, like the moment I put the battery back on, the motor was winding it up. I'm going to magnetize my screwdriver. Oh. Screws are not magnetic. It's a bit annoying. Yeah, that's like, it's still not mainstream these days, like having the wires detachable from the battery holder. Like, it's So now I'm going to zoom in on the top side. Oh, come on, please stay up. Now, any moment now. I'm not sure about the rating about this screwdriver because it's one of those with a neon indicator inside of them. So I'm pretty sure it's not a 1 kV isolated one. Yes. Have you seen it? It's going to happen again soon, so if you missed it, no worries. Well, the main reason I use each screwdriver is because of it's a good size. I don't really care about rest. Just some clock ASMR. Well, if you wait for it, it takes a long time. Well, there are mains-powered synchronous clocks, but I've never worked on one before. I only seen them in museums. Did we miss one? Is it really taking long now? The synchronous clocks, yeah, they are kinda boring. Well, you have those one that hang in stations. They are a bit less boring. because they put the second hand on hold, and there's until there's a voltage spike or they reverse the polarity, and then they release the second hand. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but I'm going to let it happen one more time, but you can see the clocks only stops when the switch is here is all the way out on the outside. So next time it happens, just really look good at this point. You saw it happen? But you saw the switch too, or? Oh. I once whacked one in a station to see the system in action, and it does really work. Oh yeah, but that's a whole different system. There are also very cool clocks that work similar the way you probably know the name of those motors, but those motors with multiple windings that are used in the aircraft industry to show certain things. Like they have multiple, like they have, I think they have 3 windings in a, like with one middle point, and then they have 1 winding to, yeah, synchro resolvers. That's what I'm looking for. There are synchronous clocks that work that way, but it was a very expensive system because you need to run a lot of wires. Yeah, they are basically 3-phase motors. They are just in parallel with 1 winding where they put a pulse on. Like there's an extra winding where they put a pulse on. I think that's how they work, not sure. Yes, it happened again. Yeah, but I love them. I really love this. The like it's over engineering, but like they really did their job pretty damn well. But yeah, somebody made a synchronous clock system with synchro resolvers. Must have been a very expensive system, but I'm pretty sure it worked pretty damn well. With a fourth winding, yeah. But on the other hand, it must have been very expensive, but for some applications it was tremendously important that the time inside one building was the same everywhere. Like now we take it for granted, which like you just take your phone because your phone is always like correct, like basically computer too, like they almost always give the correct time, but in the time synchronous clocks were mainly used, those things didn't exist, and it was very important for some companies that time was everywhere exactly the same. Yeah, but the ancestor of encoders, yes. Because like if you see like now, there are those radio controlled clocks. They just have a little magnet on the back of each hand that passes over a sensor to make sure where they are. So if a clock like that needs to correct itself, it basically needs to pass the sensor to know which hand is where. So because there's yeah, that's why they were used in airplanes, no? Like to just get the position of something. Okay, I'm going to enter stream soon, so we can talk. We can talk on Discord about it if you want. Yeah, I don't really know how I know about them. Can't really remember, but they are pretty neat. So yeah, I'm going to enter stream. I need to go to school. So bye bye everyone. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I will hope to see you the next time. Yeah, and if you go to the replay on YouTube, I will put down in the description an upload of the slow-mo video of the like how the gearworks are driven in the first clock, electromechanical clock I showed. But I don't think like that. I'm probably going to add that this weekend. So, and I will probably talk about it next stream. So bye bye.